Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good to have you in the house with us, man. Got my buddy Chad Bryant here. Hey, we're waiting on Robert and KATMAMA to get in with us. So we're going to give them a few minutes, guys. I want if y'all would get ready to start this show here this afternoon. Invite a couple of friends, tag a couple of friends, and invite them here. Guys, I just want to give y'all a shout out, the ones that's on our that's in the chat. Man, last week y'all was blowing this up, and I appreciate y'all being active in this chat right here and what's going on. Man, we got Shay McDonald. What's up, Shay? Shay is hey, man, he's the winner of the Cat Masters on Toledo Bend, and got him in the house with us. Marcus McFarley's in here with us. Brian, Big Bama Brian, Corey Jeffers, Bobby Boucher is in the house. Nathan Trimble. Guys, so good to have y'all here. We're going to give it a few minutes. We're waiting on Robert to get tuned in here with us. And have you heard anything from him, Mayor Chad?
I have not. Let me look here.
Alan, how you doing this afternoon?
Man, I'm good. How about you, Mr. Stacy?
Man, I'm doing good, Chad. Have a good week this week. And guys, I don't know how many of y'all are. Derek, I didn't eat I think I ate mine and your steak a while ago. And that thing was some kind of good, thanks to Mom and Dad. Hey, we got Paul Brenda Presley's in the house with us. Paul Brenda, good to see you, my friend. Eric, good to have you. We got Jackie Swindle in here, man. This is right here, old Jackie Swindle, man. He can catch them things on the Mississippi River. Jackie, we need to get you here in our program one night, man, and talk catfishing over on that Mississippi River with us. If you would like to come in, contact Chad and give him your name, man, and we'll try to get you lined up to come on here. KATMAMA Industries is trying right now to join in. KATMAMA, if you need any help, Chad can send you a number. He can get y'all's number or whatever and call him, and he can get y'all tuned in. What's going on, Doug Smith?
Corey Jeffers asked if he was going to see me on Pickwick. He may see me there this week.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jackie Swindle, he just made a comment in here, and I'm trying to find it now. He said he would be willing to come in here on the show one night. So, yeah, he said, okay, and we'll do. So let's try to make sure, write his name down there, Chad, and we'll try to get in touch and get him lined up to come in on the program with us.
Stacy, take me backstage. I'm gonna call Robert and try to walk him through this.
Yes, sir. Doug McAnally, what's up, Doug? Guys, good to have y'all here. I'm gonna bring y'all up to date with this. I think this weekend y'all may can enlighten me on this. But they're going to have the Cabela's tournament there on Pickwick Lake. Pickwick and Wilson Lake this weekend. That's to be this Saturday. I don't know how many of y'all will be there fishing. Doug Smith says that Doug Smith said he'll be there this weekend. I think Chad told me today that he was probably going to try to come up there and fish on that lake. Fish this tournament right here. David Riles, good to see you. And Chris Parker said he'll be there. I know there'll be some great fishermen there, and it's a good opportunity, man, to put some monsters in the boat. Let me see. I'm waiting on them guys to get ready to come back in here. So y'all bear with me just a minute. Any of y'all got a question or something? Mel Fleming. Mel, man, I know. I want to just tell you, Mel, appreciate you running my products, man. Thank you for the pictures you sent today. Like to me, you catching some good fish over there. Bryant Murphy, Team Grasshopper is in the house. Yeah, Mark, Wilson Lake is always a good place to fish. There ain't no doubt. I tell you, when it comes this time of the year, both of them lakes, whether you fish Wilson or whether you fish there on Pickwick, man, both of them places is really, really good. Shay, by listening to you and Aaron Churchwell, that lake right there must be just covered with some kind of trees and treetops out there. And Jeremy, that steak was pretty good tonight. Hey, it beat them ramen noodles that I eat today for lunch, and that pimento cheese sandwich that I eat yesterday for lunch. I can tell you that. Yeah, Chris, I was wondering what the wind was going to look like this Saturday. I hadn't seen the weather, but I do know there's a front or some kind of maybe some rain coming in Friday night or Saturday. So I wonder how that right there would affect them lakes right there with the wind blowing. I know how it affect Wilson Lake because that's a big lake. Mike, good to see you, my friend. You back with us here, Chad?
I'm back, man. You can't get rid of me that easy.
Hey, listen, guys. I got them fixing to come in the house. I'm fixing to bring them in. Y'all give them a high five or something. Here they are right here.
All right. Can you hear us now?
Man, we got you. We got y'all in here tonight.
I could make a joke and say it takes a woman.
Hey, y'all turn your phone sideways if you can.
Hey, are you on your phone? Yeah, turn it sideways.
Hey, I was scared to do anything else.
There you go, right there. Boom.
Right there.
Yeah.
Guys, good to have y'all in the program with us this afternoon. Let me say this again to everybody who just popped in. Y'all make sure that y'all tag a couple of friends. We're fixing to talk fishing. We're fixing to talk stuff that connected to catfishing. I am going to just let y'all have the table tonight. I want you to do this first of all, Robert, and I'm going to call you Miss KATMAMA. What about that?
That's fine. You can call me KATMAMA, Jerry, whatever you want to call me works.
Whichever one you want me to. I'll call you Jerry or whichever one. But, hey, guys, just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself.
Robert is the actual personality in the relationship. I'm Jerry, so I am KATMAMA. I've been married to Robert for almost most of my life, I guess. I'll let him tell you a little bit about him because he's, like I said, he's the personality here.
We met when we were in high school, and seriously, we're instantly in love. So it's carried over all these years. She's still the love of my life. When I left high school, I went in the military, played around overseas for a while, and came back and learned to love my country and all of our people in our country. I learned to appreciate some things that I may not have learned just growing up here in North Alabama. I came back with a different thought process on diversity and the great melting pot that is our nation.
Yes.
I kept the Southern boy part of me at heart. I love my wife. I love my family. I love Jesus, and thankfully my wife does too, and she keeps me on the right track because I can get bent left or right real quick.
Robert, tell us a little bit about inform me a little bit about KATMAMA Industries.
I love to fish. I probably fish 4 to 5 days a week. I was continually coming home without gear sometimes. Sometimes I'd miss a rod or two, or everything on the boat would be gone. And that's how KATMAMA was born. And he's like, well, that don't make sense. Well, the sense of it is I'd pull up, talk to kids fishing on the bank, grown adults that might have some inferior equipment that they were using, and I'd just give them mine, and get them on the right path, talk to them, get to know them. Then I'd have to come home and explain to my honey why I had to order a bunch of new gear. She thought that I was getting mad and throwing this stuff in the water, but
I really thought he was talking to folks and walking away from the boat. And people borrow things when you walk away from your boat. So I thought, okay, he's walking away and somebody's taking the equipment, because it happened more than once.
So we go fishing one Saturday and we get down there, and there's there was a lady fishing and then some kids and some other people fishing. And she actually saw some of the stuff I'd been giving away. And that day after we got through fishing, she said, we've got figure out a way to make this happen all the time. I was like, what, me and you fishing? She said, no, where we can get other people fishing. But it's always been my thought process. If you can get somebody out on the water, it gives them a new viewpoint of life, a new viewpoint of nature. They may not question as much how things were created. They'll just accept the fact that they were created,
Yes.
for all of our benefit. And she took it from there. And next thing I knew, she had me giving out gear and not fussing at me about it.
We love the area, and we spend quite a bit of time between McFarland and the Colbert side of Pickwick and Wilson, fishing. And so we were down there, and there were these two kids, and they had made themselves what I call the homemade boat that essentially put a lawnmower motor on a boat, and they had got it away from
They made it work.
the bank, but all it would do is go in a circle. Best time, and we got to talking to them, and they were just absolutely outstanding kids. And I have to give them A1 for effort, but their ingenuity was just amazing to me. And they had the boat, but they really didn't have any equipment. And the more we talked to these kids, it was evident that they wanted to fish. They had the drive to fish, but they didn't have the economically speaking, they didn't have the way to fish. So I fish with pink rod and reels. It's not a secret. My side of the boat is pink. It's always been pink. So we left that day with just the pink equipment, and everything that belonged to Robert was gone. So, it became one of these things. This is going to happen. We have 2 boys. Our boys are grown. Both love to fish. And, we miss that. We miss having our kids around. Once they get out of the house and they have their own families, they don't need you as much. And we missed that and wanted to be able to contribute. God's been good to us. We wanted to give back, and that seemed to be a way to go about it. And 2019 is actually when we started doing this. And y'all all know what happened in 2020. Well, I worked from home all of 2020, and we got to spend a whole lot of time out there on the water together. And it just became one of those things. We're going to do this every time we go out, and we were doing it out of pocket. So 2019, we did it out of pocket. 2020, we did it out of pocket. 2021, we decided to build a website and start selling, apparel, rod and reels. And we had already known Byron, but Byron from Ancient Mariner became quite a good friend to us. And once he found out what we were doing, he said, yeah, I'm going to help you guys. And so the reels came into play, and we started selling those, and we would give them away with the rods at the same time. The thing about giving away the Ancient Mariners, they have a lifetime manufacturer's warranty. So, if a kid breaks them, we can get it warranted, and it doesn't cost them anything because we were paying to ship it back to him. And it just kind of took off from there. And, the first year we sponsored Bama Blues, I believe.
Bama Blues. She's jumping ahead a little bit. We approached, we visited a lot of tournament scenes because we weren't real tournament fishermen. I fished walleye tournaments and stuff out west before I moved here, but I'd never fished any catfishing tournaments. So we went to a lot of catfishing tournaments to see what kind of felt family like, right? Well, so we started approaching some of these guys. Hey, we would like to get into a program where we're sponsoring some lady anglers or youth anglers. And some of these guys laughed at us, said, that'll never fly. You're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. Well, Corey and Chris Ramsey thought about it, said, man, yeah, I think this will be worthwhile. And the first year with Bama Blues, when we started sponsoring lady anglers and youth anglers, their numbers were growing. Sadly, they had other plans. They already had those in the book. And Corey and Chris both said at that time, man, I wish we had been able to talk to you a couple of years ago,
Yes.
And it just blossomed from there. And then Lisa welcomed us with open arms, and we've given away more stuff the last 2 years than we ever thought we could. And it's been a blessing.
Yes, yes, sir. In the one of the things that I see where we have a big connection at, because one of the things that's where my heart has always been with this, and it's one of the reasons I started doing live stuff. I started doing this show right here, just the way that y'all are with helping people. I just wanted to help people be able to uh, try to help them catch more better fish, just and from what I had learned from it, I'm just here to share what I know and try to bring other people into the industry, to the catfishing world, that hey, we want to just be able to share. And that's one of the reasons for this program right here is to just help people enjoy what they're doing.
That's
And
fellowship.
it's fellowship and building a community. And what I've had people ask me, why not just target youth anglers? And my explanation with that, 99% of the time when I was young, the reason that I would go to church was because my grandmama, if I wasn't in church, I was going to get a strapping, so I'd have to wait to fish after church. But you get to looking at it back through history. The mamas and the grandmamas and the wives were the reason that most of us grizzly old wild men got up and went to church on Sunday. So if we can get the women involved more and more and more in fishing, and our youth involved more and more, you've got a whole family dichotomy there that will actually spread into the industry. And maybe it'll cut down on folks like when we have rod wars or when we have this or that. Well, mine's the greatest and you can't use this on my boat. If we get that family atmosphere going, maybe some of us can yield and love each other a little more.
And that's what it's all about.
That's right.
I fished with somebody. It's been a couple of years ago, and I didn't even know people even thought this way. You know what I mean? And they said, I would invite you to fish on my boat, but I use a different rod holder. I'm like, what? What? I'm like, did you think that's going to keep me from getting on your boat? Do you think that? So we're going to separate and let that divide who we are? Hey, that'd be like you pulling up and saying, "Hey, I've got a Chevrolet truck. I don't ride in the Chevrolets." I'm like, if I'm walking, I'm gonna get in. I ain't getting in the truck because of that. I'm getting in the truck because of who you are.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I can't believe we let stuff like that separate us. And I've even had folks say the same thing. Well, I know you fish with a certain tight rod on your boat. Do you mind if I fish with mine? I'm like, man, bring your rods, your reels, whatever you want. We fishing go fishing.
To that point, it's us, the fans, that put the fanaticism into this, because she reached out one time. She said, I'm going to give away 200 rods. And I mean, B&M stepped up instantly. Meat Hunter stepped up instantly. TFR stepped up. Mad Cat stepped up instantly. Catch the Fever, everybody. And it was the darndest thing. And that's when I said, wait a minute, all this mess most of the time is caused by us fans that like things, And
I agree with you. And that's where it all come from. I'm like, man, this industry is bigger than this. And matter of fact, we should be bigger than that. I mean, life should mean more to us than whether you fish with this rod or have that kind of rod holder on your boat. I mean, you would think life would be more to us than that,
Saw your grandchild sitting there on your knee just a minute ago. That's our future. And what we do, they see. So, they're impressionable. If we're fussing about the rod or the reel, what are they going to see in us? So, when he and I talk about things, we don't always use the same equipment. He likes one rod. I like another. I like it because it fits in my hand better. I have smaller hands. And so I jokingly sometimes will reach over and smack him with mine and go, let's have a battle. But, it's not that one is better than the other. It fits my hand better. Doesn't matter who made it. I don't care.
Robert, I remember, I'm going to say it has to be probably 2 years ago or so. You remember the first time I met you or the first time you met me?
Absolutely.
We was there at Ingalls Harbor.
Yes, sir.
Safety Harbor.
Safety.
Safety Harbor.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I came home and told her, I said, I just met Stacy Gaston. I said, that is just a fine man. She said, you think so? I said, oh, I absolutely know so. You just get that feeling about people. And thankfully in our catfishing industry, we really do have a lot of fine people.
There ain't no doubt.
There
There is
ain't no doubt.
a lot of good people in it. It sure is.
I remember first time Chad Bryant ever said hey to me. I said hey to him about 15 times, and he wasn't even. I'm kidding.
I just didn't hear you then.
We miss seeing Beth out there, so it's a pleasure. And get back on the kids for a second. I took a young man and his dad out. And we were fishing, and we got to talking about math. And the boy said, I hate math. And his daddy says he hates math. And we caught a 30, what wasn't big fish, 36 pounds. And I had a good digital scale on the boat. And I just told him, so my batteries ain't working today. I said, but there's a formula we can use with this tape. And I pulled out my Rapala tape, and we measured that fish and measured around it. And we drew out on the slime on the rear deck of the boat the formula. So and that kid, now, he's not a straight A student, but he's a whole lot more interested in math because he figured out right then that he could put it to daily use, even if all he did was fish,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm going to tell you, there ain't nothing like, just making I call it just making people's dreams come true.
Absolutely.
I go out fishing a lot. I really love just carrying people out fishing, and I can fish all day, and I do not have to reel one fish in. It just does not bother me. I'm like, I get my enjoyment out of seeing who's on the boat with me catch their personal bass, or having some kid there. We fished the Sea Art tournament last year, me and Joey. And I told Joey, I said, Joey, I got a little kid. I got a young man who wants to go fishing with us. I says, he don't know this. I says, but I'm going to invite him to fish this Sea Art tournament. I says, he comes and fishes with us. I says, are you good with that? Which I knew he would be. And I says, every rod that goes down, he reels them in. I said, me and you will be the net man. We'll just coach him, and everything goes down. We are really men. And his granddaddy had left us that day, and I agreed, they agreed to bring him there, and he got in the boat with us that morning, and we wasn't gone long. He got to catching one pretty early, like 25, 30 pounds, and he was hysterical. Biggest fish he ever caught in his life. And he got to catch a couple more, and we was going around there, and later that afternoon, man, one slammed that rod in the back. And I reached up and set the hook on it, and I said, come here, Landon. I said, just get right here, son, and just reel on him. And this fish comes straight up to the top. You know how they just sometimes just come straight up. This fish comes straight up. Lucky he's about 50 yards. He's pretty good ways behind the boat. And he just laying there, and that boy sees him, and this is a 50-plus pounder.
Oh, wow.
And he just goes to holler. I can't believe it. I'm telling you, there's nothing no greater than seeing that right there. That would be a memory for a lifetime for him.
Right. That's something that kid will never, ever, ever forget. We took a little boy, his daddy, he was wanting to get into it, and his daddy had put something on Facebook, and we reached out to him. We were like, look, man, if you want your boy to go fishing with us, just give us a holler. And we met him at the boat ramp, and we went, and that boy caught one in the 40s. And he's like 7, 8 years old. He won't forget that for as long as he lives.
That's
Exactly
right.
right.
Because we, all of us here and a bunch of us watching, we forget that some folks will go a big majority of their life fishing a whole lot and never catch a 40-pound fish.
Never
Like
catch.
most people.
So
Yeah.
what we sometimes, I'll come home sometimes and I'll say, well, I took so-and-so out and we only got this or we only got that. And she said, well, it may be 10 years before he catches something that big again. Then it reminds me, enjoy the moment and be thankful for what you do get.
And I want to say this, Robert, while we're here, because I know when you're in a tournament circle and that you fish all the time and you're sitting here and you're fishing, yeah, for you, a 25-pounder, hey, that's just a 25-pounder.
Right.
And I just want to remind everyone, when you see that little kid who catches one that weighs 25 pounds, don't belittle that 25-pounder, because that may be the biggest fish he ever catches in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And when he's on if he's on my boat, if we hook him with a 25-pounder, I'm gonna carry on like it's the biggest fish in the world, because to him it is.
Right.
Exactly right.
Right. And that's why we also push for people that run our smaller tournament trails like Coast River Trail or North Alabama Catfish Trails. But people like that recruit these first time fishermen to bring. It don't matter what kind of boat they've got, equipment, as long as we can help them get a live well, and they start bringing their kids and their grandkids in. We see some of these kids pulling out a 7-pound fish that they are so happy and so tickled at a tournament, and I'll do everything I can to yell and shout and clap for them. It just, man, it warms my heart, and that's our future. So if they have that positive memory pulling out that 7-pound fish, they're going to stick with it. And they'll, it'll give them a good source of enjoyment the rest of their life.
Yeah, but because that 7-pounder to him, that's the biggest fish he's ever caught.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, and make him let him know it. Hey, you proud of what he just done, because there's a lot of people who are just normal, just casual fishermen may never catch one over 10, 12 pounds their whole life.
Well, we're spoiled, here in the South, we're spoiled with the big fish that come out of the water. And we have people who come in here from other states and they see some of these catfish and it just blows their mind. They've never seen a fish that big. When you say, 25, 30 pounder, some of them have never seen a fish that big ever. And then when they go out on the water and they catch one, that's a memory. We have people who bring their kids in here who've never been on a boat, and we take them out, and that's a memory. We take those things for granted, and it really shouldn't be, because that's a blessing. God gives those things. And when we get those kids in here and Robert, and I get to go out with them, or Robert gets to go out with, I work a full-time job, so I'm not always here. And the parents go out with them. The parents get to give their kids that memory by being able to get here and get out on the boat, and taking that for granted is something we shouldn't do, because it truly is a blessing. And if you have the opportunity, if you have a boat, you have the opportunity to get a kid out there on the water, you need to do it. We are only as good for the community as what we give back. And I always say we got to go outside the community, because that's the way we're going to grow.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if I know I'm taking a kid out fishing, I am more nervous and more anxious going out then than I am if I'm going to fish a tournament for $20,000.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Me and Chad's talked about this.
There is no more pressure to me than knowing I'm taking somebody fishing.
You're right.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell y'all a little story, because y'all might have seen one trip that we went out with. Me and Joey Kirby had carried a young man out by the name of Braden West, who had a lot of physical issues that he had from birth. I don't forget just what all was wrong with him, but they really didn't give him long to live. And he was 18 years old when he went out with us. Mm-hmm. And we had, Joey had told him we was coming down. If the fishing was good, we wanted to carry him out. And the first day, we went out for 3 days. me and Joey went out the first day just by ourselves, and Joey told him, said, if we can get on fish, we want you to bring Braden and bring him here with us. And the very first day, we tore him up. And it's just me and Joey. Joey calls and says, man, y'all got to get down here. Says, we can put y'all on some fish. Day 2, this is before they get here. They're going to come on the 3rd day. We went out on the 2nd day. I fished all day. We caught 2 fish.
Oh, my.
And I'm thinking, oh, my Lord, this guy is fixing to make a trip about 4 hours to come and fish with us. And it's going to be the dream of what he's been wanting to do. Hey, that night when I went to bed, Robert, Jerry, I prayed so much. I said, Lord, I don't know what to do tomorrow. I just really don't know what to do. I done fished so hard today trying to look for fish. We went out and we wasn't that long. We got to catch something about 20-something pounds. So I'm like, hey, he's got a good fish. He was so happy with that. And I was happy for him, but that ain't what I was wanting. And we went up to a place, and we were standing around talking, and we had one rod suspended. And listen, the tip of the rod had to be 4 eyes deep in the water. His daddy goes to hollering, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? It was a 50-plus pounder.
Oh, my.
And this boy gets to just listen. I asked Joey, I said, Joey, he said, you know what I baited that thing with? I said, what? He said, just the scraps that was left on the table. He said, I just dropped it overboard. I said, the Lord was with us today, man. But you want to, man, just having that just makes your heart full right there, man.
There's nothing more fulfilling. There's nothing you can do that'll give you a better feeling than watching a kid catch a fish of a lifetime.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everybody that's on here. Take time out. Hey, you don't have to. There ain't hard to find. You can go find somebody that wants to go fishing. Introduce them to them. Introduce them to fishing. Put them on a catfish, and I'm telling you, you put a young kid on a 15, 20-plus pound catfish, he's burnt for life. He'll never forget it.
You're absolutely right.
Well, I've got this one here finally agreeing to fish a tournament with me. She's gonna fish the Sea Arc with me, and we're gonna put her to the test.
So I don't fish tournaments. One, because we're usually sponsoring, and I think it's a conflict of interest. So I did agree to fish the Sea Arc. We won't be sponsoring that tournament. So I thought it'd be a good time to get on the boat with him and bless his other partner's heart. He has no idea, because I can be a bit bossy once I get on the boat. I think.
Hey, Robert, do you know this guy that's tuned in with us right here?
Doc, man, that's my hero. That is the legend.
I see him right there. Doc, man, good to have you tuned in with us this afternoon, man.
You want to talk about a good guy? That's one right there.
Oh, but he's a great guy. He sure is.
He's a teacher, a motivator. He shares his knowledge with anybody that wants his knowledge. He is willing to share with them. Just an absolutely wonderful man.
He actually took a lady angler. This is her first year fishing tournaments, and he is teaching her.
He's teaching her to fish.
And
to fish tournaments all at the same time.
So
wow.
That's a big undertaking, especially when most people are out there to fish a tournament. It's all in fun, but everybody wants to come out on top. So, I couldn't think of a better person as far as the patience goes and the knowledge than Doc. And we are super appreciative of the fact that he took her under his wing. So I wish more people would do that. There are a lot of lady anglers who want to fish tournaments that lack the confidence to do so. We get asked all the time, how do y'all fish together? Well, we've been around each other for so long. We have fun at it. It's more of a fun thing than it is anything. But to get your wife or your girlfriend or whoever interested, that's the biggest thing, is to turn it into a date. We go out for date night bait fishing. That is our big date night, is to go bait fishing. People laugh at that, but
that's not my suggestion. That was hers.
I like to fish that, I'm not going
My
to lie.
wife tells me I'm too competitive. I get too wound up.
Well, let me say this.
Oh.
I'm competitive at the skipjack fishing myself, but it's fun. We have a good time doing that. And that's really how we got, I guess, to the fishing all together.
Yeah.
Was going bait fishing together, and I loved it. So it just kind of turned into a thing for us. But
She had a tough competition here a couple of years ago. I took a young lady out. Her name was Bridget, and first trip on a boat. She was an experienced angler. Her dad's a very experienced bank angler. They hang out with some of the catfish pirate bank fishermen folks that do just a fantastic job and catch phenomenal size fish from the bank. Well, anyway, she wanted to go out on the boat. So they come down here from Missouri. We take her out. And the first fish rod goes down and she winds down on it. Well, she's got a donut in her left hand and she's winding down this fish till she's eating this donut. And I say, Bridget, you want me to take that donut? Nope. She's still eating. I said, you want me to wind that fish in? She says, no, I got it. And that video is on my page. And I told Jerry, I said, that's the perfect woman. She can wind down a fish and eat a donut at the same time.
Hey,
Yeah, she was 10 at that time. It was absolutely amazing.
let me throw this in here while I got a chance. David Riles put this on here because there is a annual fishing thing that Donnie and Lonnie Fountain is connected to. I don't know just what all the details is on this. I know I've been invited a couple of times to go up and help. I just hadn't been able to let go on them days to get up there. But guys, if you want to support something, you can find out when they having this, and I'm sure that they'll take all the support and help that they possibly can. Lonnie and Donnie Fountain, I think, is it Lonnie or Donnie's wife is the one who sort of heads that right there up, I think, and takes care of that. Appreciate everything that they're doing.
The Fountains are wonderful people, and it brings tears to my eyes each year watching them hand out the rod and reel combos that they hand out to the kids. It's a gracious act from them, but when you see the kids' eyes as they're getting them, it brings tears to my eyes. And I'm a gruff old mean veteran, and that gumpit don't choke me up.
So with you saying that, we're actually going to be part of a youth rodeo in Colbert County this year, and we'll be asking for volunteers to help come up and teach the youth how to tie their hooks. We're going to do stations because we want them to learn the proper way to get ready to fish. So
spool a reel. We're going to teach them everything. Sterling Tatro is going to bring a lot of his stuff that he uses with the Central Arkansas catfishing community or fishing community there over to help us teach the kids and just try to provide them with a good time. And Colbert County is fully on board. They're going to support it, back it, and provide advertisement and everything.
But that requires bodies, a lot of anglers to show up and help us get that done. We're also planning a multi-state giveaway. My goal this year is to give away 800 rod and reel combos to at-risk youth.
Wow.
Multi-state. So that's been in the works now for a little over a year. We are going to try to do 8 states this year. We actually have been able and been fortunate to help out in 44 states across the United States. And while we are a small 501c3, we do our best to spread it out and not keep it local. We love our local events, but we want everybody to feel like they're part of this community and not just where we are. So I realize it's ambitious and it probably is going to put me maybe in the bed for a week or two, but I'm going to get this done one way or another.
She did 100 and then 200 and then a little over 200 last year. So she's taking a big jump, but the folks at Daiwa have been real good to us with helping us on some spinning combos. And so hopefully we can get it done if the funds come in right.
And we support other nonprofits as well. So it's not, when we take in donations, etc., we keep it in the catfishing community, but we also support other groups. So whatever comes our way, we do our best to share with everybody else, because none of it's ours to begin with. It's all given.
One thing that y'all have enlightened me tonight. I didn't have no idea that y'all helped do all this.
We especially her, she's very reserved, and even from a standpoint where we stopped doing a lot of the recording on the boat, because you heard her say something there, a lot of this stuff goes to at-risk youth and folks that may not have the best living conditions. Well, I don't want to put out a lot of video and then somebody say, well, look at that, that's one of them at-risk youth, because we both grew up very poor.
I could understand that.
So we didn't want to do that. And so a lot of the things we do, we kind of keep low key, but because like she said, it's not ours, and this thing is growing, and people are participating without us standing on a building yelling, hey, this is what we do. And that's called a blessing.
Yes, it is.
Felt like you don't have no, it can be done in private, and I think that's the bigger blessing. If it's between you and God, God knows your heart anyway, so I don't have to shout it from a rooftop that we gave it away for it to be given.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
That's kind of how we've approached this over the last couple of years. It's a lot of fun to walk up on the banks at McFarland or Riverfront Park or anywhere we are and give away equipment when nobody's expecting it and there are no cameras around to catch it. That's a blessing you get to take home with you at night and lay down with, and you don't have to share it. It happened. So, I treasure those moments.
Hey, I'm going to share this. I know I don't want to get on my soapbox and preach none. That is spirit. That right there is scriptural principles.
Yes, sir.
That y'all using. And,
that's the way I was raised. So,
ma'am.
I said that's the way I was raised.
Yes, ma'am, and that's the way. That's the way that you right on target.
I got to explain a little bit. I told Robert I came home today, and we have a really good, some really good friends here in the catfishing community. And we actually met them through tournament fishing, and they have become the best of friends. But I got to explain to her the gifts of the Spirit today, and she had no idea. So I had sent her a video, and she sends me back a message, and she goes, I got a little lost. He started speaking in a foreign language. I was just so tickled. And I was at work, and I started laughing, and nobody could figure out what I was laughing at. But those are things that through this community, it's not just fishing. It is the fellowship that comes with it. We have made the best of friends through this community, and we eat together on Tuesday nights, and, we laugh, we cut up, we have giant group chats, and, we all encourage each other, and it makes a difference.
So while we're eating together on Tuesday nights, Lisa and Terry Haraway decided they were going to have a date night one night a week, and this was going to be on Tuesday night and going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings. Well, 7 years later, I think it is, maybe 9, it's turned into a catfishing meal, and they may have 14, they may have 45 people there on their date night. So it's private.
Oh man,
people, and I think they depend on us to keep each other going. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think it's a gift, and that God has truly blessed us. And like I said, we want to share it with everybody else. So
amen.
We appreciate the fact that you get on here on Tuesday nights and let everybody cut up and have a good time.
I appreciate the fact that every time I've seen you on the river, which more and more that I fish out away from here, I happen to see you more and more. And whether it's the Mississippi River or Tennessee River, wherever, every time I see you, you've always got a smile on your face and you're happy. And I want to thank you for that, because there's been some days that I might forget to smile. And if you're out there smiling, dadgummit, I can't let a picture of you get out smiling. There you see a picture of me not smiling. I want to
hope you get Beth back. We'd love to see Beth back out on the water. Or I know she a lot.
Yeah, she works 7 on, 7 off, so it's kind of hard,
Well, you make sure you
getting that all lined up.
Hey, Lisa said y'all invaded their date night.
over. Sorry, not sorry. No, Doc with us on Tuesday nights, and Chris Wallace, Bud and his wife.
Hey, look, we've had people from Australia show up. There was a guy that took a trip to Nebraska to fish from Queensland, and he said he was coming to Alabama to set in on that Tuesday night at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he came.
Wow.
Get a grip on that.
I'm gonna tell you, if there's any way I'm ever up there on a Tuesday, I need to try to remember. What time do y'all go to Buffalo Wild Wings?
About 6 o'clock.
About 6 o'clock.
Right, well, that's my time to eat right there.
If you're up here on a Friday, we also try to do it on Fridays, and that's technically not their date night, but it's all of our date nights. I guess you could say it's a community date night. We try to eat together on Friday nights too, as often as possible. So if you're up here on Friday night to fish a tournament, we'll do it on a Friday. On here, Lisa loves to go out and eat. She's like, "Yes, let's go," because they've had her tied to the stove over the last week.
Yes, Bri fish. That's Brian with B Cat right there saying he needs to get back down here. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
So this is a unique community. We've been a part of several other things. We used to race cars back in our younger days and other stuff, but the catfishing community is a unique community. Their hearts are as big as they are. I've not set a goal for us to go out and give something away or raise money that it hadn't been met. And that to me is phenomenal. You don't see that every day, and the economy's tough anyway. And I jokingly say that catfish anglers will buy a new rod and sleep in the car, and I say that all the time because
it's almost true.
How many rods are enough? And I've never heard a catfish angler say they have enough rods ever. But their hearts truly are. Everybody's hearts, they're just as big as their bodies.
Miss Jerry, my wife will come in here in this room I got. I'll be going to. I'm like, I'm gonna get me a new rod or something may come in the mail. And she says, "Do you really need a new rod?" She said, "There's over 2 dozen of them sitting in the corner back there."
Exactly. I feel her pain. And now it's kind of an equal thing because I like my stuff as much as he likes his. So fortunately for both of us, neither one of us complains too much. So
I made a commitment to her. I was going to get a little bigger boat, and a boat that if she wanted the whole family to go out instead of me being restricted to taking just 2 people, that I could do that. So about the 4th trip out with people that came all the way from Texas to fish with us, I just killed my Suzuki. I knocked half the bottom end of the thing off. So I want to give Chris Sapp and Dry Creek Marine a shout out because they've got it over there fixing it, and it's going to be back and ready to go pretty quick.
Chris is a good guy.
Hey, while we got a chance right now, because I hear so much about Chris and Dry Creek Marine. Just give him a shout out, man. Throw in a plug for him right here. Just tell a little bit about him.
Dry Creek and Chris probably have some sort of sponsorship, I would say, in 80% of all the tournament action in North Alabama and a lot outside the state. They're so supportive. They'll help with every charity event that comes up for anybody. They want to see all the smaller trails, whether it's catfish or bass or whatever, succeed. They're just Chris has a big heart. He's a fantastic guy, and if you're down here and you break a boat, they're going to do everything they can do to get you back on the water as quick as they can because they know time is of the essence. Especially if you're out of town and down on a vacation and you hurt your boat, you need that thing fixed. And those guys will do everything within their big new facility. It's gorgeous and plenty of room. And again, he's got his heart's bigger than he is.
So
And they're located there in Decatur, Alabama. Ain't that correct?
that is correct.
Yeah, he's right outside of Decatur now in Trinity.
Trinity.
So they kind of run together, but it's a big, gorgeous facility he's got now.
So I work in the insurance industry. I sell commercial insurance, service commercial insurance, but I get to hear all of the claims that come through this area. And most of the boat claims go to Dry Creek. I've never, ever heard anybody, not one single person, that wasn't satisfied or happy with what Chris was doing. Not just because he fixed their boat, but they have outstanding service.
It's outstanding service, and they go above and beyond, you know.
They also work on Humminbird, or Minn Kota there, the trolling motors and stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me do this, guys, for the ones that's in the chat. If you're ever down fishing on the world notorious Tennessee River, Wheeler Lake, Wilson Lake, Gunnersville, you have boat issues. Don't you forget the name, Dry Creek Marine.
Absolutely.
It's in Decatur, Alabama. Don't forget that. You may just want to write that down and put it in your phone or something other, because that's the guy to contact if you're in this area, if you have issues. And I've heard, I don't know this firsthand. Y'all may know this, but I do see when there's tournaments in town where there's these big tournaments, a lot of people, and all of a sudden they have a boat issue. They done drove 6, 7, 8 hours to fish a tournament. Now it's the day before the tournament. They have something go wrong. From what I see, Chris and them do a very good job of making sure that these guys get that boat running, whatever they can to make that happen.
And they're not a one-trick outlet either. It's Mercury, Suzuki. It don't matter if you got a Monster Cat. It don't matter if it's a Sea Arc or a Crestliner. They're certified and expert level in just about anything out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Obviously, we appreciate them.
Yes, sir. I wanted to make sure we give him a shout because Chris is a good guy.
He really is.
Hey,
if you're at a tournament in North Alabama, if you'll look around, you'll probably see Chris walking around.
That is true. Also,
that's true.
Really nice guy. Before we get ready to jump off of here tonight, is anybody you want to give a shout out to, man? Feel free to do what shout out whoever you want to.
It's such an amazingly long list. Brad Childress, Fat Rooster Planer Boards, and Brian and Kim from BCAT Boards. They've been here since close to the beginning. When I say been here, they've supported our crazy, wacky ideas. The first person to ever support us just selling a reel and then giving a reel away was Spyron with Ancient Mariner. And for somebody starting out, at that time, I think they were like $89. Now inflation's got them at around $99 for a lifetime warranty reel for a young person. Man, that's the way to go because he truly will fix them. And he was on board from day one. He was like, "You're going to do what?" Well, we're going to buy one and sell it, and then we're going to give one away. And he said, "Y'all are crazy." He said, "But I'll support that." And he did, and he's never backed up on his word.
Lisa for embracing Lady Anglers.
Lisa Haraway for the love and embracing that she gives not only towards us, but for the catfishing world in general, and her support of Lady Anglers because she knows how important that it is being one herself. LB Brooks at Extra Inning Sports. He's with us from the beginning, making jerseys and things like that. Caveman. Jason, he's a good one.
He's a good guy, man. I've got all respect for Jason.
But B&M rods and meat hunter rods and Justin Freaky, can be a controversial figure, but he's helped so much behind the scenes when people need something. he outside of our scope of giving them things, this man's put out a lot of money at times to keep other people eating or to fix their vehicles. When somebody would come to us looking, needing, hey, I can't get to work because my vehicle's broke, or hey, our grocery bill's not paid, things like that. This man has stepped up and never asked a question, probably at times in his life when money may have been tight for himself.
And wants no recognition.
Wants no recognition. He'll slap me on the back of the head for even bringing it up, because that's the first thing he says, don't tell people. He said, because if you tell people, he said, some people don't like me and that may reflect bad on you. And I said, that goes against everything that I talk about, that we can all get along and we can all love each other and be ourselves. And, you know, we don't necessarily have to have each other for Thanksgiving dinner, but it takes all of us working together. And if all of us are working together, we become an awful strong entity, and we can fix a lot of things and make a lot of wonderful things happen.
Every single person who's ever purchased on our website is supporting a youth and a lady angler. I can't name them all because it would take forever, but every time they make a purchase off our website, it goes back into the catfishing community. We buy rods and reels and give them away. We give away shirts. We sponsor tournaments all across the nation. You know, that's where all of that money goes. So shout out to everybody who buys something. I don't care if it's a hat or a jersey or whatever. You're helping to support a lady or a angler.
And she's a registered 501c3. There are people that just send some cash, you know, and they get a receipt for it, and it's a tax deductible receipt, and that may feed a family one night, or it may take somebody fishing for 10, 11 days. But one of the biggest shout outs I want to give to anybody is to Bob Denon with King Cat. Bob is a wonderful human who's taken on a monumental task. I mean, you're talking about going from driving, it'd be like driving a dinghy to driving the Titanic when he grabbed that King Cat thing. And in a very, very short time, it has made huge strides. He's very generous. He's very compassionate. And
yes, sir.
So that's we'd like to give him a big shout out, because he's helped us a lot.
The Tuesday night crew support us and encourage us every week to keep doing exactly what we're doing. So, you know, I made that joke about we could do it on a Friday night. No joking, guys. If you're here, come eat with us, because they're going to love you. They're going to hug you. They're going to treat you like your family. So, you know, I come up with some pretty wild stuff and go, hey, I really want to do this. And every single one of them goes, let's do it. You know, let's do it. And that's
so let me do this one thing before we get ready to close out tonight. You got some products that y'all, if I wanted to come and buy products, how do I do that?
KATMAMAindustries.com website, everything's on there. Our mission statement's on there. Everything but the rods you see behind us are on there. These rods she typically holds in reserve till we're at a tournament or something, because shipping is so astronomically high. But
we do donations is also on the website at the bottom of the page.
Donation buttons on there. There's a group page on Facebook, KATMAMA group page, and the KATMAMA Industries business page. But KATMAMAindustries.com is her website, and we try to update it daily.
We'll be updating tonight when we get off here, because we got new merchandise in today, so it may take us a little bit to get it on there. But
I would imagine over the next couple of days that website's going to blow up a little bit.
I hope so. You know why? I've got big plans for a bunch of youth anglers around this nation.
All right. So let me ask you this. Is the phone number, is it 256-810-6859?
That is my phone number. You can also reach us at 627-1511.
I'm gonna fix to put this on. I ain't gonna put that number down on the thing, but I am gonna put KATMAMAindustries.com, and it leads you to this page. I got you pulled up here now. So I wanted to put that on here tonight. So that's where if people's back watching this, they at least know how to get back in touch with y'all.
you very much. I think Robert and I actually have been talking for the last probably 7 or 8 months about coming down and visiting the church. That's a
And
drive.
that would be good.
That's a drive for us, but we've been talking about it. So you may look up and see us one Sunday morning and be surprised.
I got it on here now. So, well, guys, we're fixing to jump off of here. And I want to thank y'all so much for coming on our program tonight. I enjoyed this. And I learned something tonight that I did not have no clue about. And my hats is off to y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for all that y'all do.
We thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be on here. I've enjoyed it, and I respect both of you guys and how you present yourself in public and what y'all do for other people. I want to thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, y'all have a good afternoon. Guys, thank the ones that come in on our chat. Thank y'all for coming in here and being involved in the chat, asking questions, and just talking back and forth to each other. We appreciate that so much. Pray that y'all have a blessed week this week. And we'll see y'all next week at the same time. God bless y'all.
Bless you.
Thank y'all.
That was fun.